Good morning, everybody. How are you this Wednesday? Welcome to Marketing Matters. I am Charlotte Wibberley and I am flying solo again this week. I am completely solo. I'm guestless. I'm feeling lonely. So if you are... Hello, Emily. Hello, Melanie. If you are online and watching, please give me a wave. Please add some comments and let me know that you are online and listening to me. So today what I want to talk to you guys about, thank you for the heart, is something that is incredibly personal and is one of those things that I feel just isn't spoken about enough. I'm looking forward to today's topic too, Emily. Thank you for that, my love. So if you guys, as we go through this, you're going to have to bear with me as I get vulnerable, and you're going to have to also let me know if these are things that resonate with you, and let me know if you've got any questions or thoughts on this as well. I really would love this to be interactive. So the topic is all around running a business, juggling your business whilst also living with anxiety. So I just want to tell you quickly before we get into some of the ways that you can really make that work for you. I want to tell you a little bit about my story and how I found out that I had anxiety. So I think it's safe to say I've been a worrier my entire life. My husband will say this to you. If there's something that I can ever find to worry about, I will worry about it. Literally, I can make worrying a hobby. But without downplaying it, the worrying that I've had in my life has always been there. But it wasn't until, I'm going to say about 5 years ago, that I really understood that what I actually was suffering from was anxiety. So throughout my adult life, I have been prone to bouts of depression. I'm a spiraler, things get bad, and I end up going down this spiraling pattern of thinking things will get worse, things are going worse, this can never be salvaged. And that is how I've been for the last 5 years or so. It probably started way earlier in my life, but you know what it's like. You have kids, you have your own business, you have your mortgage, you have your friends, you have your family, everything suddenly starts to go on top of you. Now, about 5 years ago, I ended up being so overwhelmed by, I'm going to say business, but it wasn't just business, by life in general, that I ended up taking time out of my business. So I ended up taking around 8 weeks outside of my business just to sit and be and live without having to do a million and one things at once. And I came back to it and everything was fine. I had people in my business to help me, which is great. Hello. Totally agree with the spiral. And the more you panic, the worse the spiral gets, or you so know. And it's one of those things that actually you know that you need to climb out of the spiral, and you know that you need to put a stopper to it, but actually putting that stopper to it is not achievable. And so for me, even though I can logically think I am making this worse for myself and the people around me, I cannot physically make myself stop. As I say, 5 years ago, time out of the business. And then I've been running things absolutely fine. The reason that I've started to talk more about anxiety is because of an episode I had only last year though. So those of you that have known me for a while will probably have heard me talk about this. But if you haven't, I'll tell you a little bit about what happened in 2021. So we had spent the last, 12 months in pandemic environments. It was May last year. I was just about to launch an amazing course that I built, my Become a Funnel Master course, which is all around teaching people to set up businesses as funnel and launch experts. Spent ages building this amazing course, got to launch time. And about 3 weeks before my launch, I woke up in the middle of the night, completely feeling like I couldn't breathe. So I was gasping for breath. I was falling over. My husband called an ambulance. The paramedics were there within 10 minutes. And I thought in my head that I was either having a heart attack or I was dying in some way. You know that I catastrophized, but anyway, genuinely, it was really not great. And the paramedics came and they decided there was not enough wrong with me to take me to the hospital, so they told me to sleep it off and see where I was. Come the next morning, I was still pretty much gasping for every breath. So we went to A&E, and I was then seen and tested throughout that day. Again, sent home. At the time, they had made a small suggestion to me that it could be panic attacks. As somebody that had suffered with panic attacks for years, very infrequently, that tended to be 10 minutes, panic attack, it's over. Whereas this was just ongoing. I was gasping for every breath. Anyway, without going into too much details about all of the toings and froings, it was, I think, in the end, 2 months of feeling that way, not being able to work, every test under the sun for physical symptoms and physical defects from, chest scans, heart scans, asthma tests, trying to think spirometry. I just had everything, and everything came back clear. So I went to see a private cardiologist. Everything came back clear. And actually what it got me thinking was about the fact that potentially what I had was anxiety surrounding the pandemic and coming out of an incredibly stressful situation for all of us. That meant that actually it was manifesting itself in a way that was physical to me, and it didn't make those symptoms any less real, even though ultimately it could have been something that was coming from my anxiety. So Em says, people say, oh, just a panic attack, but it actually really does feel like a heart attack, and it's bloody scary. It is. Well, imagine that's exactly what I had, but it was basically on an ongoing basis for 2 months. So all of this has led me to basically start to run my business and lead my life in a way that understands that I am susceptible to panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and feeling stressed. Which actually, when I speak to people, they go, why the hell do you run your own business if actually you have these things, and therefore the stress of running your own business can make those things worse. And obviously for me, it's really simple. The whole reason that I run my own business, first of all, because I'd be a terrible employee now. I've been running my business so long on my own. But on a more serious note, I have the freedom to step out of the business when I need to. And that means sometimes that's because I want to be there for my kids. Sometimes that's for holidays. Sometimes that's because my anxiety levels are at a way that I know I'm not going to perform for myself and my business and my clients. And that is why juggling anxiety and running your own business, although it's high risk from the fact that it's stressful, it's way more stressful than I ever knew it would be, but it also gives us that freedom to be able to run those businesses on our own agendas, on our own terms. And, as long as we are serving our clients and giving them the results that we want, then we are able to build a business that actually can transform the way that we feel. Because, anyone that has suffered with anxiety or depression or a mental health issue, you'll know about the guilt that you have when you are in those episodes, and actually, which doesn't help at all, from being employed or trying to serve our clients, or actually probably not serving our clients. That guilt can be all-encompassing. So what can you do if you are sitting there thinking you have anxiety, you haven't talked about it, you have talked about it, or you've got something else that means that actually you are more affected by many of the facets of running your own business? How can you make sure that you are able to perform and run your business in a way that's actually going to work for you? So I'm just going to share the things that I try and do to make it a little bit smoother. Works most of the time, not going to promise that it works all the time. So I think the first one is be open. You don't have to run around and tell everybody, hey, I have anxiety, you need to bear with me. But talking about how you are affected by things can be really, really helpful. Be that in a safe space, with family, with friends, or if you do feel like you should share it with clients, being open, I think, with yourself and with the people around you is really, really important. I know when I started to recognize that this is where I was at and how I was feeling, talking with those around me, to my team, to my clients, and, quite publicly here, has really helped me to, make it okay. And it is okay. So be open. I think also stick to your boundaries and know your limits. One of the things that has been, again, transformative for me has been I'm not going to work in the evening. I'm not going to compromise my boundaries. I'm not going to make myself feel guilty. These are my times to work. This is what my working pattern looks like. And I'm not going to compromise on those boundaries for anyone, because if I do, I know it's likely to affect my mental health and my anxiety, and therefore can send me into a spiral, or will mean that I just don't perform for my clients anyway. So make sure that you're sticking to your boundaries and you are knowing your limits, that you aren't pushing yourself outside of that. The third thing, is to make sure that you have the structure and processes in place to support a business that you can step out of. And that means software, that means your processes are written down. I'm going through this with my agency accelerator guys at the moment, getting them to write their business bibles, their systems and processes, so that everything's out of their head and their business can be handed over to someone else if they need to. And of course, team. So making sure that you don't have to have a big team, you don't have to have an agency even, but making sure you have somebody that can step into your business when you can step out is absolutely crucial. So the last 12 months for me have been about finding those right people to step in and do those tasks for my business so that I can step out if I need to. And then I think that feeds into my other point, which is about not doing everything yourself. We are experts in our businesses at a particular thing or particular things. We are not experts or fabulous people at everything in our businesses. So we need to make sure that the stuff that doesn't light us up, the stuff that triggers us, the stuff that holds us back is offloaded and outsourced to people that love that stuff. Project managers, social media managers, right-hand people, tech VAs, business strategists, whatever it is, make sure that you have the ability to delegate and not do everything in your business yourself. Otherwise, you're going to end up being a busy fool and cause yourself a load of stress in the meantime as well. And end up in burnout, I would say. And then what about getting rid of your red flag clients? I was trying to remember what I wanted to say about that. Get rid of the clients that cause you more stress. You know the ones that I mean. The ones when their emails drop into your inbox or up on your Slack channel, you're going, ugh, this really is not who I want to hear from. If that is causing you pain and anxiety, get rid of those clients, because it's never going to work out. You're not going to prioritize them, and all it's going to do is feed your anxiety monster. It's not going to be good. And we've all had them, and we can all get rid of them as well. So that's a little bit about me and how I tend to deal with my anxiety. If you guys ever want to reach out and talk about anxiety or running a business with anxiety, I genuinely am super passionate about this stuff, and it has driven the entire business strategy that I have for this year, which is all around creating that freedom in your business so you can step out if you need to. And if you want to. So if you ever want to have a conversation with me, please drop me a DM and we can have a chat. The last thing I was going to say to you as well, before I forget, was that Em says, red flag clients tend to have no respect for your time and drain your energy vampires. Getting rid of them is a game changer. It certainly is. It really, really is. Yeah, speaking from experience, and I'm understanding you probably are too. So the last thing I was going to say, is that I find that also what has really helped is surrounding myself with a peer group in business, because although my husband's great, my friends are great, my family are great, there's some things that when you're running a business and suffering from anxiety that actually you need other business owners to help you with. So that is where joining a mastermind or joining a membership or a group coaching program or whatever it is, or finding your own group of people that you can rely on, can be transformative as well. So for me, the game changer this year was joining Lisa Johnson's Destination Inspiration. Tons of amazing people in there that genuinely have your back on a professional and personal basis. And it's exactly why I'll be launching my mastermind in September, so that I can support other people to create that freedom to step out when they need to, and to make sure that they have everything in place to step in as well, to step out and have that supported when they need to. All the people in place to step in, the systems, the processes, the funnels, all of that stuff. So on that note, hope you guys aren't sitting there thinking that's an overshare, just being open. But genuinely, if you are in need of talking about running a business and having anxiety, I'd love to hear from you. So hopefully you found that helpful. Have an absolutely wonderful day, whatever you're doing. And thanks to those of you joining me live, and for those watching on catch up, I will chat to you very soon. See you later. Bye.